Alright, welcome to another edition of Kicking Thunderfoot or some such thing like that. I don't know. Blenderfoot, well, whatever. Put asunder the foot. Anyway, yes, the argument that scientists should be like, yeah, they should be really, hard logic, all that kind of stuff. That's being a good scientist. And this is lame-o science. And so in comparison to creationism, it really isn't much of an advancement. Let's say if you had a god and he loved homosexuals and he thought abortion kicked ass. Then almost you'd say, okay, right? These guys have nothing to complain about anymore. Okay, they're not arguing with the God theory. They're not arguing with the, oh, the universe is completely fucked up theory. Um, they're not spouting that. They're right along with the whole idea that yeah, somehow it all knows what it's doing. Yeah, we can't judge the universe. No, 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 no. The universe is universing. Ooh. So anyway, that's the argument I'm making. All right, so anyway, doing this video with a flip camera, the first original flip, so it looks just like this one here. Has this funny looking little thing in it. So it's called its model number is an F 130, yeah, F130. This is actually an F160. I had two of these. The 60-minute ones are kind of rare because memory used to cost a lot more than it does now. So anyway, so there's a lot of the 30-minute ones around, but they're not bad little cameras still. Durable, I mean it's kind of tough, kid kind of plastic. It's they're really not bad cameras. Still, they've actually gotten more expensive than they used to be. A couple months ago, you get one for a little more than $10, and that worked. And now sometimes they go up as high as 20, $25, which is surprising. But anyway, on the resale market, it has a little flip thing that pops out. It's kind of convenient and all that. Anyway, so yeah, that's the camera I'm using. So we'll do this. This is number 2. This one's Helium. Yeah, it's the second version, so I'll load this while I talk about Helium. So Helium is this perfect kind of element, actually. It's like it's got the 2 electrons, so they balance each other. Probably one going, in a north-south orbit, another one going in a east-west. Real stable, really hard to, screw up helium. So nothing combines with it easy. It doesn't react. It doesn't do nothing. It's like it's a perfect trap for energy. Energy just traps in it. Just I guess you could argue very perfectly. Um, you know. What else is there about it? Lighter than air, of course. Lighter than other elements. That's the bottom line. So yeah, it's going to go up because it's lighter than the other elements because it's small. So. Little pebbles come to the top, big pebbles sink to the bottom. Anyway, what else can I say about helium? Yeah, that's enough. It might kill you if you use it right. So, good. I don't know if I go for that dying by helium overdose, but yeah, I suppose it beats in a lot of other ways. I have to do more research on it and such. Did to go to a website, but they want you to pay $50 to find out how to kill yourself. I think that's kind of lame. I think it's extremely lame. But anyway, that's the world we live in because all these fucking atheists aren't really atheists. So anyway, play the video, Gary. Okay, play the video.
Can you look the country in the eye?
Oh, she looks
and say,
I can see the country from my post.
And I have the ability to be not just vice president, but perhaps President of the United States of America.
I do, Charlie.
Meet Sarah Palin, creationist. If this man wins the U.S.
Yeah, so is Ron Paul. So is a whole big pile of those morons people elect to office. That's right.
elections in November and dies in office, this means Palin will become president.
And McCain is how much smarter than Palin? I mean, realistically, McCain is a fucking insane lunatic.
Sarah Palin has given almost no interviews. The following is taken from a 10-minute clip of one of her interviews.
I believe that under the leadership, I believe that there.
Well, what the fuck is that shit again? So, about what? I mean, somebody should do that to your videos, Mr. Thunderfoot, sir. I mean, really, do you want your stammering and your bullshit to be and somebody should do it who has maybe 100,000 subscribers, so you can be thoroughly humiliated. Ugh.
I believe that I believe, and I believe.
Okay, so she believes in things. What sort of things does she believe in?
What sort of things do you believe in, friend? Okay, you keep talking about this beauty in the universe crap. Do you understand what beauty is? Do you understand that that's just a psychological addiction phenomenon that has nothing to do with something's actual value? It just has to do with your projection of value from your psychology. That it's absolutely meaningless in a value equation that's going to have any logical or rational sensibility. Do you understand that?
That our leaders, our national leaders, are sending them out on a task that is from God. That's what we have to make sure that we're praying for, that there is a plan and that plan is God's plan. So bless them with your prayers of protection over our soldiers.
So this woman believes that starting a war with Iraq was a mission from God, and that praying will protect the soldiers.
Yeah, so do a big giant pile of Americans, unfortunately, and it's really, really dumb. But playing I believe 14 times in a row is not going to change their minds.
I would have gone for body armour, as it seems to have a significantly better track record of stopping bullets than prayer. But then again, this is merely the suggested best course of action from the godless science that shows that the Earth is not about 6,000 years old.
Yeah, I think a better suggestion from science would be to suggest that the things you're shooting are of equal value to yourselves, that you're accomplishing nothing by putting holes in each other, and that you got to find a different way to resolve your conflict. That might be the scientific approach.
Contrary to Palin's beliefs. Other than that, Palin seems to believe in not blinking and incessantly calling the host Charlie.
You can't blink. You can't blink. So I didn't blink then even. We must.
God, that is just such weaselly conduct, Mr. PhD.
Not blink, Charlie. I do, Charlie, and to this table, Charlie. But Charlie again. In what respect, Charlie? Charlie, you're God-given, Charlie. The task is from God, Charlie.
In her youth, Palin was a beauty queen contestant, which may go some way to explaining her communicative skills.
Gee, that's really tacky too. I mean, I get called misogynist for silly little jokes, and here you are attempting to make some sort of connections that are pretty unfair. I mean, maybe 89% of beauty queens are morons. Maybe it's 99%. But you know what? You can't judge people by the what is it? The attractiveness of their package. You have to judge them by the content of their character.
I believe that under the leaders that I believe
that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere, like.
Oh, this is really fair. I mean, man, you really are a little weaselly hatchet job bullshitter here. This is just fucking crap.
Such as, and.
Now, many open-minded and fair people.
I mean, yeah, many open-minded and fair people are maybe right now remembering you when you were arguing with the banana guy, and you were hemming and hawing and stammering.
Will at this point be calling this a cheap and unjustified shot.
Yes.
I contest this. I want you to mark the following responses by Miss Teen South Carolina and Sarah Palin for articulacy, content, and how many coherent sentences they actually managed to compose.
Oh, please. I mean, come on.
Bear in mind that one of these is widely seen as one of the most nonsensical answers ever captured on tape, while the other is delivered by someone who is running for the Vice President of the United States. I stress, both answers are completely unedited.
A fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is? I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as...
Yeah, man, she really is dim, but she's pretty. Gotta give her that. She's pretty. I mean, really? I mean, beauty contestants are supposed to be smart? Is that your argument? I don't. What's your fucking point here? It's really cheap. You know what I mean? It's like they used to do TV commercials, you know, and they put like a black guy in the commercial and insinuate that the black people are coming. You're just insinuating that the beauty queens are coming to hurt little Thunderfoot.
Do we have the right to be making cross-border attacks into Pakistan from Afghanistan, with or without the approval of the Pakistani government?
As for our right to invade, we're going to work with these countries, building new relationships, working with existing allies, but forging new also, in order to, Charlie, get to a point in this world where war is not going to be a first option. In fact, war has got to be, and military strike, a last option.
But Governor, I'm asking...
Gee, well, that wasn't that bad, actually, when you consider Obama's got his fucking little weaselly finger in fucking Pakistan's butt. You know, this is pretty tragic.
We have the right, in your mind, to go across the border with or without the approval of the Pakistani government.
And in case you think this is merely an isolated instance, this woman has given a few interviews. This is a clip from another interview.
Oh, wow, well, you really didn't slaughter anything there. You're really going to make comparisons between that first little twat's answer and that answer. That was a nice political answer. I mean, it was Obama all over the place. Bullshit, lies, but it was certainly coherent.
Families who are struggling with health care, housing, gas, and groceries. Allow them to spend more and put more money into the economy instead of helping these big financial institutions that played a role in creating this mess.
That's why
Yeah, that's why I say don't vote for Obama, because he's going to give those bastards a whole ton of money, and that's exactly what he did.
say I, like every American I'm speaking with, we're ill about this position that we have been put in, where it is the taxpayers looking to bail out. But ultimately, what the bailout does is help those who are concerned about the health care reform that is needed to help shore up our economy, helping the... It's got to be all about job creation, too, shoring up our economy and putting it back on the right track. So healthcare reform and reducing taxes and reining in spending has got to accompany tax reductions and tax relief for Americans. And trade, we've got to see trade.
Wow. So this is how you attack creationism. I mean, this is just bizarre. I mean, what, you don't think Obama could say those same bullshit words? He lied through his fucking teeth to get elected. All right? I mean, he's giving the store away to the fucking millionaires and billionaires.
As opportunity, not as a competitive, scary thing, but 1 in 5 jobs being created in the trade sector today. We've got to look at that as more opportunity. All those things under the umbrella of job creation. This bailout is a part of that.
You get that? If John McCain wins, this woman will be one 72-year-old's heartbeat away from being president of the United States.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, these aren't even the good ones. Okay, you're gonna pick on Palin. She has a ton of other stupid remarks. I mean, what was exactly wrong with that remark? She was basically saying, well, if the economy tanks, if the stock market goes down to 3,800, you got no tax base, and so then you're going to have draconian tax cuts. And so if they can prop up the economy and keep it afloat, that's what they're going to do. But of course, it's not going to work, because now we're only going to sink faster and harder when we are finally allowed to sink. I mean, sticking your butt cheeks in the hole is not going to save us.
And if that doesn't scare the hell out of you, it should. I'm 65 and have been covering politics as you have for a long time. That is one of the most pathetic pieces of tape I have ever seen for someone aspiring to one of the highest offices in this country.
Oh, please. Go back and look at some old Dan Quayle clips.
That's all I have to say.
What insight into Russian actions, particularly in the last couple of weeks, did...
This is, again, why do people laugh at creationists? That's what this is titled.
does the proximity of the state give you?
They're our next door neighbors, and you can actually see Russia from land here in Alaska.
You've cited Alaska's proximity to Russia as part of your foreign policy experience. What did you mean by that?
that Alaska has a very narrow maritime border between a foreign country, Russia, and on our other side, the land boundary that we have with Canada. It's funny that a comment like that was kind of made to, I don't know, you know.
Yeah, it was basically was a character assassination. Look, it's a sloppy comment, but there's a point to it in the sense that, yeah, if you have a border and you know right across the other side of the water, not too far away, is another nation, it's going to make you more aware. I mean, maybe she didn't. I mean, I don't think she did much research and cared much about figuring out what Russia was, except for whatever, red baiting bullshit had been dominating her brain, the commies over there. But it would certainly be cause to change your perspective. If you live on a border, it changes your perspective.
Borders. Yeah, mocked, I guess that's the word, yeah.
Mocked, and rightly so. This is a price-winningly stupid answer. If Palin thinks that being able to see Russia counts as foreign policy experience,
yeah, just awareness experience is probably her argument. That's probably her argument.
then being able to use Google Earth makes you a world-class foreign policy guru.
It might, in comparison to
Indeed,
all
by
the other
Palin's reasoning,
assholes.
the ability to see ballistic missile subs in Russian harbors gives you expertise in TAC nuke exchanges.
Yeah, well, who has this expertise? And who would you say in the last 50 years who has served in these offices of, with their fingers on the button, so to speak, who was your man? Who was so much better?
While being able to see fast attack Russian nuclear subs and aircraft carriers in America gives you experience in naval warfare.
Have you ever met a foreign head of state?
I have not, and I think if you go back in history and if you ask that question of many vice presidents, they may have the same answer that I just gave you.
In fact, every vice president in the last 32 years and every living vice president has met a foreign head of state before taking office. More lying or simply not knowing.
Do you agree with the Bush doctrine?
In what respect, Charlie?
Bush, what do you interpret it to be?
His worldview?
No, the Bush doctrine, enunciated September 2002.
So Palin doesn't know what the Bush doctrine is. This is breathtaking ignorance.
Oh, really? Whatever. She's not running with Bush.
The Bush doctrine, invented by this
I
man,
call upon all nations to do everything they can to stop these terrorist killers. Thank you.
Yeah, now that was a real brilliant bit of articulation, wasn't it? I mean, he was a real good articulator.
Now what's this drive?
And the American people, they didn't elect him the first time, but they did elect him the second time. After they caught him lying, right? Then they elected him for real. So, who's the asshole? Yeah, that's right. The people suck.
the man who declared mission accomplished before he decided to stay the course, the guy who started the war that Palin thinks was a mission from God. The Bush Doctrine is the root cause of arguably the biggest US foreign policy blunder since Vietnam. That's about 50 years. You might have thought that Palin would have had at least a superficial insight into the political happenings of our own country over the last 8 years.
The Bush doctrine, as I understand it, is that we have the right of anticipatory self-defense, that we have the right to a preemptive strike against any other country that we think is going to attack us.
And we have a right to round up people that we won't call prisoners and torture them.
Do you agree with that?
Charlie, if there is legitimate and enough intelligence
What we're giving you are facts and conclusions based on solid intelligence.
that tells us that a strike is imminent,
We know where they are. They're in the area around Tikrit and Baghdad.
We cannot wait for the final proof, the smoking gun, that could come in the form of a mushroom cloud.
against American
Yes, we'll mushroom them first.
people, we have every right to defend our country.
Yeah.
However, Palin does make the odd
It is kind of funny. Anyway, defend our buildings anyway.
comment that I agree with.
I believe that what President Bush has attempted to do is rid this world of Islamic extremism, terrorists who are hell-bent on destroying our nation. There have been blunders along the way, though. There have been mistakes made. And with new leadership, and that's the beauty of American elections, of course, and democracy, is with new leadership comes opportunity to do things better.
Yeah, that's right. This is the beauty of democratic elections. You get to change your leaders for the better, and you do this by learning from the mistakes of the past. If there is one lesson that America should have learnt over the last 8 years, it's that having a grade A moron and screw-up artist as a leader is a bad thing.
Yeah, whatever. You know, this is all nice rhetoric, but that's all it is rhetoric. What the fuck did Clinton do with his term? Oh, that's right, he killed 1 million babies in Iraq.
Thing. Please, America, don't make the same mistake again.
Yeah, they didn't have a choice not to make the same mistake again, okay? Because they were given 2 flawed candidates. And they got flaw all over the place. Flawed beyond recognition. Flu-flaw. Flu-flaw. Anyway, yeah, so this was really lame to put this in the category of why do people laugh at creationists? Because it really wasn't much about creationism. It was about you think she would be any smarter if she believed in evolution? If she raised her hand and said, oh no, I understand evolution, you think this politics would be any different? You think she wouldn't have her head up the rich man's butt just as far? I mean, none of this crap would have changed at all. She wouldn't be instantly intelligent because she was able to figure out there's no God. Oh, fuck. So anyway, 735,000 views for that nonsense. Piece of crap. So anyway, brought to you by Helium. Helium is not the crap. It's very stable. Yeah, it's very stable. Superior. Yeah, the superior element. Doesn't combine with anything, doesn't turn into crazy ass bullshit living things that eat each other. So, yeah, kicks ass. Yay for helium. More helium, please. So anyway, until next time.